Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. It's Mary Jane, and let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 11, episode 3. OMG, it went down. Did you hear Eva call, what's her name, Shamia Blaque, but not Black with a Q? So I hope she's not talking. Why she even had to say black? Why she had to say she's a black girl, or she's dark skinned, or anything relating to her color? She could have just said that she just ain't cute. She didn't have to use her skin tone and her skin color or anything like that, because especially with what's going on in the industry, and basically color shaming people and colorism and all that other stuff that's going on in the industry as far as Hollywood, television, music. It's just like, Eva, that was really inappropriate for you to say that, because you should, of all people, should know, because you was on America's Next Top Model, and them black girls got sent away quick, fast, in a hurry. So I didn't really appreciate that. I don't know why she went there about the skin tone, because she could have just said Shamia's ugly, or Shamia this. She could have just said her name. She didn't have to say that black. She's not black, not like that other black one. She's cute. She has a Q. It's just like, that's so ridiculous for you to say that and have a husband that's an attorney and to just be an adult. That's just like real shady to go there. But let me say this, ladies. Don't click off the video, but that whole table scene with Shamari and Ronnie and all the ladies at the table. Now, if Kenya Moore and Phaedra was at that table, they would have been reading and writing a rainbow going on. You already know this. But so let's get back to, what really makes me sad and really kind of like hurts me a lot is just to see Gregg sick. Like, I don't even think I care about any of the housewives as much as I care about Gregg. Like, just seeing him sick, it just hurts. It made me sad. Like, yo, I really wanted to cry. I really felt like a certain type of way. I felt like my uncle is sick. I felt like, somebody close to me is sick. I felt like Gregg has always represented being a great black man. He's been black excellence. He's just been really good on the show as far as being a role model and how a man's supposed to act and treat his woman and his family and make sure they are taken care of, and didn't throw it in her face as well. So it's just like, damn, Gregg is sick, man. And then they want him to have chemo, and he's not sure if he wants chemo, because right now they don't see the cancer in his body. So the cancer could be hiding somewhere in the crevices of his cells and other stuff, but he wants to try something else. They really don't have any other measures but chemotherapy, and that's what they would tell you. So right now they're looking into holistic healing, and I would say back in the day it would be go to Dr. Sebi, but he's no longer here. And the next person to go to is Dr. Eileen Africa. Dr. Africa is very good when it comes to cancer. And also Matuti Maakra, D Whole Foods, is very good too as well with healing, sicknesses and diseases or whatever. But damn, just to see Gregg to be sick and just to be weak, not looking the same, not looking thick, and he's still trying to put on a good face. He's still trying to he's still trying to, do this show, because he knows it's important to him. He knows it's important to his kids, his wife. It's just important, and he's there, and he's letting us see this. He's letting them film him at his vulnerable and weakest moments. And a lot of men don't open up to that, wouldn't let you film that, wouldn't even talk about that they're sick. And so, and then he's African American guys are very quiet when it comes to health issues. Very, they feel like if they're sick or something wrong with them, that if they say something or if they show it, that they're being weak or they're not as strong or they lose value, and that's not true. It's like helping others. And I lost somebody very close to me due to colon cancer, and everything was cool. There was no more cancer found in his body and everything. And then right before, 2 years later, he was deceased. He passed away due to cancer. And he tried everything. He did everything. I was just like, wow, man. The Gregg situation just really hits me. Like, I'm telling you, I was about to cry, yo. I was just like, damn. It just hurt me. It just felt like that was, my father, my grandfather, my uncle. Somebody that's so close and dear to me that if Gregg, if something happens to Gregg, it's going to affect me. I ain't going to even front. It's going to affect me. I'm going to feel a certain type of way. I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be hurt. Straight up. I am. So let's move on to the episode. Let's get to Eva and Porsha meeting up at the gym and everything. And they're exercising, they're working out and all this other stuff. And so Eva goes, I am a model. She goes, I might not have a big butt, and most models don't have a big butt, but I ain't never seen a model with a big butt, you know, like Cynthia. So like, damn, why are you shading Cynthia's butt? Why are you I'm shaming something that was God given to her? I don't think Cynthia got butt injection or whatever. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? And then like, why are you shaming her and shaving? Why are you shaming her about that bullshit? That's ridiculous. And Cynthia's in her 50s and you shaming her like that because you know, I know you're taught to be like a plaque board, but Cynthia got curves. That's what a real African American woman looks like. Not all African American women are voluptuous, you know, got big booties or whatever, but shit, most of us do. And that, I think that was just like real shade. But Eva's trying to bring it. She's trying to stay. She's trying to survive because everybody was saying she was boring last season. So she's trying to bring it, and she's shaming Cynthia. But Cynthia's been all the way around the world. I don't know. I think Cynthia done did more work than you. But basically, it seems like something with Eva and Cynthia happened off camera, or the producers are pushing Eva to actually go after Cynthia because like, why is she worried about her butt? Now she's worried about Cynthia's, you know, big butt. That's something that a lot of African women or African American women are gifted with. And then she's talking about the black thing with, you know, Shamari about a black this or black Q. Black, like, why you gotta, it seemed like you're shaming African American features. I don't know what's going on, Eva, but you know, you're gonna get it twisted out here and you're gonna get shamed right off this goddamn show. So we have that situation going on. And basically, you know, her and Porsha are working out. Portia's having a hard time. Portia's like, she gained like 9 to 10 pounds. It's very hard. Eva's shaming her like, listen, I ain't the one that just dropped the baby and I'm better than her and I'm working out more than her. And this, and I was like, damn, Eva's here to throw the shade. She ain't got no friends this season. Maybe she realized that these girls ain't her friends. Maybe we don't know something, but she's shading. I don't think she like nobody. And she was talking about that. And then Eva threw it in that when, you know, she met her man, her fiance, you know, they was together for 4 months and she knew that they were going to be together after 4 months, and that was it. That was her baby and all that other good stuff. And she also talks about her, you know, her and Porsha being cool because they both work for the same network, you know, Dish Nation or whatever, Dish something. I don't watch that shit. So, you know, that yeah, you better keep your job on the show or you won't be on the radio or whatever show that is. So, you know, and then she talks about Marlo. She was like, Marlo, I never met a woman that's 42 and haven't been married. I was like, damn, she's throwing shade at women that can't get a husband, can't find a husband. You would have been 32 without a husband right now if you didn't snag down Michael. So miss me with that bullshit. So now she's shaming women that are older. You know, it's one thing to, you can say like, you know, she hasn't did the things that she could have said it a different way. She didn't have to like say, oh, she's 42 and she ain't married. She could have said Marlo has never been married. She didn't have to throw the age in, because when you throw the age in, now you're making it seem like, oh, if you're in your 40s or something like that, that you have no value because you haven't been married. And Porsha was like, you don't know any other women that's in their 40s that haven't been married? And she was like, yeah, I do, but you know Marlo. And she was like, I didn't know Marlo was so upscale. I didn't know she was so demanding. Well, then you must have never watched the show. Marlo is always grand. She's grand when she don't even need to be grand. She's grand in her townhouse. Her townhouse is like a big ass mansion to her. So don't get it twisted. And she was just like, and so then Porsha threw some shade. Porsha was like, oh, I see Eva is like a flip-flop. I guess we got Cynthia number 2. So they're both shading Cynthia. What does Cynthia do? Cynthia, they're coming for you. Cynthia, you better be ready. You better throw them arms up and throw them words out your mouth and say what you need to say. You better, I know they were trying to teach you how to throw shade, but you better call somebody. You better get on the phone. You better call Kenya up. You better call somebody, because it seems like they're gonna be shading you, and you need to shade back. You need to respond back with your words. She said she's gonna be a flip-flop number 2. And so you got Eva talking about, I'm only 33. She's like 51, 52. You know, she can't really show me nothing. You know, she can show me some veteran moves, but she gonna show me some old school move. Oh, mama, come on, mama. Like basically just shaming her for her age. So she's shaming Cynthia for her age, and she's actually shaming Marlo for her age, not being married. And then she throws in Shamia's color of her skin or being black. She could have just said Shamia. She didn't have to talk about Cynthia's age. She could have just said, she called her a veteran. She's gonna show me how veteran walks. Come on, darling. Come on, little girl. I was like, come on, Eva, you're really pushing it. You're going in. You going in. You was like, I'm here to stay. You know, I got a marriage. I'm about to have a marriage. I need it to be paid for by Bravo. I need them checks coming in, baby. And she ain't holding back. And then we have the situation with Gregg and the colon cancer. Basically just only finding out there's only chemotherapy available for him. And they're going to be searching through using other, you know, options. Tony Braxton sent actually Nene life trees or whatever. That's a really good thing to start with too as well, so that's cool. And I just hope everything works out with Gregg, you know. And like Nene said, Gregg has been her rock. Now she got to be his rock, and that's what a real marriage and real love is all about. Being there when you are ill, when you are sick, when you can't do the things that you used to do, and your partner still loves you and still got your back and still supports you. You know, that's what a marriage is about. So we have that situation, and so it just makes me sad. It just really makes me sad about the chemo, because I have seen numerous people go through chemo, and it's very difficult. All the people that I seen that had chemo did not live. They did not survive. And it's about 10 people. They did not survive. You know, they did the chemo. It still didn't work. They ended up dying of cancer. And also the doctor said that cancer, it would reduce his chances like 80%, 60%, or maybe 50%. But the chemotherapy would reduce, you know, him having cancer build up or having cancer somewhere else in his body. So moving on from that situation, then we get Shamari. We see her. She got her twin. She got a baby. She's married to Ron from BBD, from New Edition or whatever, and she's happy. And she was like, I slept with him on the second night, and I got him, and I've been with him for 14 years. You know, I met him in 96, and so whatever. So she met him back in the day, and she had sex with him the next day. And she was like, girls don't believe that if you sleep with him on the first night that they gonna leave you. But see, he's still here 14 years later. That doesn't happen all the time. You got lucky that Ronnie's still an old school dude, and he was older. No young nigga was gonna be with you and, you know, have sex with you the next day. If he got you that easy, he knows that he can get 100 that easy. Ronnie's what, 15 years older than you, 16 years older than you. That's why that went down like that. So don't miseducate women and just say, oh, if you sleep with this guy the first night, you're probably gonna get a ring. He's probably gonna marry you. No, they're gonna end up on the blogs talking about their sex escapades and try to get some money from him because he ended up dissing them and he didn't want nothing to do with them. And they thought that when they slept with him, he was gonna be with them. People get it all twisted. They get it all messed up. They think you're gonna have sex with somebody and some cases it does happen. In her case, only cases I know about this happening is on TV. I don't know nobody in real life that had sex on the first night and stayed with the person until maybe one. I know one person. Had to think about it. I know one person. And then she's the second person. And then the rest of the people has been on TV. So make sure, like, you don't miseducate women and men. Like, you're going to fall in love the first night after sex, because sometimes the sex is terrible on the first night. You know what I mean? So sometimes you get to know them or something turns you off about them and you don't want to be with them. You don't want to continue to have a sexual relationship with them, period. So don't get it confused. Don't get it twisted. And plus, you had something going on for yourself, too. You was in a group or getting ready to start a group, and we got to know. And he was already in a group, so you got on top of that penis and you did everything you possibly could to keep it. And you put your lips where they belong. So anyways, it's just like when people just give young girls the misinformation about situations. There's nothing wrong to have sex with anybody you want to have sex with. First, second night, just protect yourself and just know what you're getting into. Because sometimes women think that when they give themselves to a man that he's going to be there forever, he's going to stay, or they're going to have a relationship. Some women, but it's 2018. A lot of women are not thinking like that anymore. They satisfy their curiosity and they keep it moving. But always know that sometimes when you give yourself to somebody, sometimes it takes from you too as well. It all depends on how you feel about yourself when it comes to sex and how confident you are in sex and what value you put on it. So moving on from that situation. So she talked about Left Eye from TLC. My girl, Left Eye, she was actually with Dr. Say before a little bit too as well. Left Eye from TLC, you know what I'm saying? I love Left Eye. I watched all the documentaries before she had passed away and she was dealing with Dr. Sabi and all this other stuff. And like, Shamari said that, the music business is really bad. It's terrible. Sometimes it'll eat you up and spit you out. And that's basically what happened. Then one of the members from Blaque, she was, she's not here anymore. She's deceased, and I think she is actually one of Corrupt's baby's mother or whatever, or a mother of one of Corrupt's children. That's the better way to say it. I'm trying to correct myself. Just started saying baby's mother because that's just so, I don't know. So anyways, moving on. So, you know, she's doing good. You know, she's in the studio. She's with Ronnie. She's with her husband in the studio. She got nannies. You know, her kids speak Spanish or speak some different language that her kids don't speak that. Her kids are learning that because the nanny talks to them in a different language. And they're going to the studio and they're making music. The songs sound okay. It sounds good. But once they put Ronnie and her vocals both together, and then the sound terrible. But when she was in the studio by herself and she was doing all that different elevating of her voices and tones and falsettos, it sounded really good. But the song as a whole together after it was done, to me, it didn't sound like it needed more work, and they probably was going to do more work on it. But you can see the chemistry and how they support each other and help each other in the music business. So that's beautiful too as well. If you have a craft and your husband has the same craft too, and you guys can both support each other, so that was cool. And basically she left singing, you know, and now she's getting back out here and trying to put the group together, and she's going to be doing a show, and she's going to be inviting the ladies, and she went to high school with Porsha and everything, but she's friends with Kandi, so she goes to see Kandi, and her and Kandi reminisce a little bit. They talk about, you know, BBD was singing at her wedding, you know, the 808 remix, you know, Kandi wrote a song for her, Blaque and the Third, and they talk about the twins, and Candy's following the twins online, but not following her because Kandi got better things to do. Candy's following the twins, not her. Kandi is too much. So we have that situation. So I believe they've been together for 17 years. Ronnie and her have been together for 17 years. They want to be the new Beyonce and Jay-Z. You know what? Anything's possible. You know, you know, you got to strive for what you want. You got to think big. You got to think high. And so we have that situation. And, you know, Kandi's actually inviting all the ladies to go to Shamari's, Shamari, I think, performance or whatever, and she keeps calling Porsha, and it seems like it's hanging up. Other people are picking up the phone or something. And so anyway, she invites her. Kandi's being nosy, trying to look in the background to see who she's seeing. Porsha was like, I'm at Babe's house, and Kandi was like, let me go, because Kandi's trying to be nosy. Kandi wants to drop the beans. I think I would have, she doesn't owe Porsha anything because of what Porsha did to her, but she said she forgave her. I think she wanted to move on a good path. She can just keep quiet, not say anything about it. And if the conversation comes up and she's asked the question, then she can answer the question. She could bring it to her just to let her know and say, I'm not trying to be shady or whatever. Any way that she plays it, it's still not going to be a right play with Porsha because they're really not that cool. But I don't think if Kandi came to Porsha was telling her about, you know, what she heard about him, I don't think Porsha would receive that as a friend way. I think she would receive it as Kandi trying to rain on her parade and take away with what she has. So right now, I think at the moment, you know, Kandi's doing good by not saying anything. But if she wanted to say something to her, she could go to her house and say something to her privately. Both of them on camera, because we want to see what's going to go on. So she could tell her like that, them one-on-one. I think that would be a better situation than the situation with Cynthia went down with her ex-boyfriend Mark. So we have that situation, and it's all good. And Kandi feels like she knows, you know, Dennis. He done dated some friends of hers. She don't know him personally. She hasn't met him, but she has multiple friends that know him, and they both have mutual friends together too as well. So she knows what's up with him just like he knows what's up with her. So I know he's prepared for Kandi to say something to Porsha about the situation. So Dennis already probably got his lie together. He probably already told Porsha. That would be the wisest thing to do, is to tell Porsha, so that way that she's not feeling a certain type of way. And it seems like he didn't tell her because she's so happy and so surprised that, you know, he gave her a Rolex watch and he's gonna tattoo her name and her face on his back. Then we find out from Kandi and her girlfriends, which is, you know, Carmen and Jamie, that Porsha actually beat up last season, that he does this with all the women. This is what he do. He get every woman that he meets, he falls hard for, get their name tattooed on him and his face, and he cooks for them. And actually he sends his side chicks to go to the store and buy the groceries and cook the food as well. Then we got Porsha over here bragging that he makes this food, he makes this, he has a catering company deliver him food that's already cooked. No, it's some other woman that was in dipping with Dennis, and he pays her to cook, and then he pays her with the penis. So it seems like Portia's going to be it's going to be some heartbreak going on, but she's still with Dennis and she's still happy. I don't know if he got tired of Porsha already, because it seems like he falls in love every 6 or 7 months. He doesn't stay long, and he had a girlfriend that went to Africa, and then he ended up hooking up with Porsha and forgot about her, and he was with her for 2.5 years. So we'll see how long it is. We'll see if he actually proposed to her. And Portia's bragging to her mother, trying to tell her how everything is and that. And we got Kandi and her girls over here talking about this dude is just a cornball. He just does this silly shit to all the women. So I'm just like, damn. You can't win from losing, but we'll see what happens. But I think right now he's in a hot dog business. He's trying to move into the movie or entertainment business, and I don't think he's gonna let Porsha go right now, because she is a catch. She's a big catch, and she's very gullible and very immature, and he can tell her anything and she's gonna believe him. Porsha's just one of them type of people, because remember how she was crawling on all fours for Cordell. So we have that situation. So all the ladies is being invited to Shamar, performance, and Ronnie's going to be there too as well. So they're about to perform, and so they get to the location. Everybody's there. Seems like everybody's having a good time. Porsha tried to kiss Cynthia, and Cynthia wasn't even trying to kiss Porsha. I was like, what's going on with Porsha and Cynthia? And we got Eva throwing shade at Shamari, talking about her clothes are a little dated. No, was it Cynthia? I think it was Cynthia. Was it Cynthia that said her clothes are dated? I think it was Cynthia. Cynthia was saying that, I think Cynthia was saying that her clothes were dated, and her clothes do look like they're from like 2005, 2006, or 2007. I remember them outfits because one of my closest friends, she's Cambodian in Laos. She used to wear that type of stuff because she was really small and tiny, like Shamari. I was just like, OMG. And then I think Cynthia was saying that her clothes are a little bit dated, like this is kind of old, but the hair and the makeup is kind of okay. And then you have, Nene looking at Shamari like, like, okay, Nene don't like new people. She don't like new friends. And so they're dissing, and then, I don't know what did Eva say? I just know Eva didn't want to meet Shamari or whatever because of Shamia, and she don't want to meet no more of Porsha friends because they throw shade. And Eva was like, I know when I'm getting shade thrown at me. Kandi doesn't agree. They're looking at her like, whoa, okay, like she's really throwing shade. She was like, well, I know when somebody's throwing an umbrella at me. An umbrella knows an umbrella. I was like, okay, Eva's jumping into the business or whatever. So I'm just like, damn. And so and then Ronnie comes to the table and everything. And he's like, Shamia had the nerve to say, not Shamia, Shamari was like, do you have anything to say to Kandi that's productive? And he was like, yeah, you got great hits after hits, this and that. You do a good job. But placement, the way you guys move around, it should be a show. It should be like a production. It should like tell a story. And Kandi was like, And then, Nene was like, I think Ronnie was trying to give, Kandi some information, some advice, but she wasn't trying to receive it. But he was telling the truth though. Nene, you are shady. Nene said at the end, you thinking that she's gonna be like, Ronnie, why you coming at her like that? No. Nene was like, but he's telling the truth though. I was like, Nene, shady. But that's Nene. So we have that situation, and what's her name? Candy's just like, okay. And she's just stay quiet. And Kandi was like, you open it up for me. You guys are opening up for me. Let's get this twisted. You worried about getting your group together. You worried about all the problems that you guys got going on because you opening up for me. I was just like, oh no. Eva was like, I can't believe he even had the audacity to try to correct her or try to insult her performance or what she's doing on stage and trying to give her advice. I really think that is real tacky. That's real, like, terrible. I'm just like, yo, Ronnie, he had he had on a straight face and he was serious. He was like, if I wasn't doing something right and my shit wasn't put together, I would want somebody to tell me. I was like, damn, you had to start off like that. So Shamari and Ronnie, they already know how to play this game. They're going back to back throwing shots because we gonna pick it up and we gonna be like, I thought you was rolling with Kandi. Kandi was like, what the freak is going on? You gonna give me pointers? Candy's feeling a certain type of way because you know Kandi doesn't like constructive criticism, especially at when it's not appropriate. And this is, she's there supporting you, and she gather all these girls to support you and to introduce you to the group, and then you got the first shade you throw is gonna be at me. All right, well, she's probably taking it on the chin, like, okay, this is how the newbies do it. So, and then you know, Eva with the Blaque thing, I was just like, come on, girl. And basically, you know, all the girls complimented Shamari and said that Shamari, that she killed it, that she did a good job or whatever, blase and the third. So it is what it is going on. But the shade is Jamie sitting there talking about, like, you know, he has other women, that Dennis has other women cooking for him and all that other kind of stuff. I was just like, damn. But Ronnie was throwing shade. Peace. I'm out. One love. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. And you guys tell me, do you think, you know, Kenya would have added a lot more to that table scene if Kenya was at that table and Ronnie came over there and tried to correct, you know, Kandi? She wouldn't have let it sleep and she wouldn't have let it go. Peace. I'm out. One love.